The president is either purposefully ignoring the reality on the ground in Portland to score political points, or at best, is recklessly relying upon social media gossip. The president's actions today only serve to further divide us as a nation, as a community, under the guise of caring about public safety.
Donald Trump's decision to deploy the Oregon National Guard to Portland reeks of political theater more than public safety.
In my conversations directly with President Trump and Secretary Noem, I have been abundantly clear with them that Portland and the state of Oregon believe in the rule of law, and we can manage our own local public safety needs. There is no insurrection, there is no threat to national security, and there is no need for military troops in our major city. And I also said to him, we have to be careful not to respond to outdated media coverage or misinformation that's out there. We know what's happening in our own city, and we are doing just fine.
Despite repeated assurances from Governor Tina Kotek that the city faces no imminent threat, Trump has pressed ahead with his so-called full force plan, a move critics say undermines both state authority and constitutional norms.
In America, we don't use our United States military on our own citizens, but except in extreme circumstances. It's actually un-American, if you think about it, to use the military against our own citizens. But that's exactly what's happening right now across our country, from California to DC to Memphis to Illinois and now to Portland. At 9:32 this morning, we received communication from the governor's office that the president had invoked Title 10 to deploy Oregon's National Guard to the city of Portland. I had told our staff, and we've been talking about this for a really long time, that the moment that we got notice of a deployment, that I wanted to be in court with a lawsuit filed within 12 hours. As of 2 o'clock today, we have a lawsuit filed in Portland in the United States District Court to protect Oregon and its values, less than 6 hours from the moment we received notice here in Oregon.
Oregon Attorney General Dan Rayfield rightly called the deployment provocative and arbitrary, filing a lawsuit against the administration.
I think this is a sad day for our country, a sad day for Oregon, that the President of the United States does not listen to local leaders about what they need and how we can be in partnership. When the president and I spoke yesterday, I told him in very plain language that there is no insurrection or threat to public safety that necessitates military intervention in Portland or any other city in our state. Despite this, and with all evidence to the contrary, he has chosen to disregard Oregonians' safety and ability to govern themselves. This is not necessary, and I believe it's unlawful, and it will make Oregonians less safe.
His warning that Trump is ignoring reality to score points reflects what many Oregonians see: a president determined to replay the 2020 federal troop playbook, regardless of the facts on the ground. The irony is that Portland's streets were relatively calm this weekend, while protesters have gathered outside an ICE facility since June. The latest demonstrations were peaceful, a far cry from Trump's rhetoric of a war-ravaged city under siege.
The number of necessary troops is 0 in Portland and any other American city. And let me repeat that. This is an American city. We do not need any intervention. This is not a military target.
Governor Kotek was clear: our communities are safe and calm. Yet Trump seems to be more influenced by social media headlines than intelligence reports. The broader pattern cannot be ignored. Earlier this year, Trump sent thousands of Guard troops into Los Angeles and Washington, D.C. despite legal questions. Courts already ruled such deployments risk violating the Posse Comitatus Act, the very law meant to protect Americans from domestic militarization. Meanwhile, the White House spins this as a fight against Antifa, newly labeled a domestic terrorist organization, legal experts argue that designation has no real constitutional standing and is a dangerous overreach into protected political activity. Oregon Senator Ron Wyden warned the state not to fall into Trump's attempt to incite violence, and he is right. Even local lawmakers accuse ICE of targeting ordinary residents rather than criminals, citing cases of parents and even firefighters detained without justification. Such heavy-handed tactics, far from restoring trust, only deepen public resentment toward federal authority. In truth, Portland does not need tanks or tear gas. It needs leadership grounded in reality. Trump's federalization of state troops is less about law and order and more about campaign optics. By painting liberal cities as battlefields, he fuels division while trampling state sovereignty. Oregon's lawsuit is not just about Portland, it's about defending the line between democracy and creeping authoritarianism.